Imagine a land where the sun blazes so fiercely that the earth itself fractures like shattered glass. This is northern Burkina Faso in July 2025, a place where the rivers have long since turned to dust and where the struggle for water is a daily fight for survival. In remote villages like Sino, Yaga, and Kogo, the water crisis is more than a drought. It's a quiet catastrophe. Children, some no older than 6, trek more than 5 miles under scorching heat, clutching plastic jerry cans in search of water. What they return with is often murky, unsafe, and heartbreakingly inadequate. In Kogo, a single liter of water now costs more than a family meal. For parents already struggling to feed their children, this isn't a hardship, it's a tragedy. This drought is not new. Burkina Faso has battled water scarcity for decades. Rainfall has decreased by over 40% in the past 20 years, turning once fertile fields in places like Kaya and Gorom Gorom into desolate dust bowls. Wells that once quenched entire villages are drying up in record time. Entire harvests vanish, leaving families hungry and hopeless. Mothers bury their dreams for their children in the same cracked soil that swallows their crops. To make matters worse, armed groups are now exploiting this scarcity. They seize control of boreholes, raid villages for their remaining water, and use thirst as a weapon. In May 2025, 7 villages were abandoned following violent clashes over water. What the UN calls eco-fragility, locals describe as survival theft, a brutal fight over life's most basic necessity. But amid this crisis, a new chapter is being written. And at the heart of it stands one man, President Ibrahim Traoré. Traoré refuses to surrender to nature or history. In June 2025, he launched the most ambitious water project in Burkina Faso's history, a bold initiative to drill wells deeper than ever attempted on the African continent, some reaching 1,000 meters, more than half a mile underground. These are not just wells. They are lifelines. They are defiance in the face of despair. This isn't waiting for rain. This isn't waiting for foreign aid. This is Burkina Faso taking its future into its own hands. 4 years. International donors poured money into water projects, $180 million between 2010 and 2022. Aid workers arrived with advanced drones and glossy blueprints. But the results were tragically shallow. Plastic tanks cracked, dams collapsed, pumps rusted, and the villagers, still thirsty, returned to digging with their bare hands. Why did they fail? Because these projects were conceived in offices in Paris and Brussels, not in the dusty courtyards of Dori or the farms of Tapoa. Foreign planners ignored the voices of the people who actually lived the crisis. It wasn't a failure of technology. It was a failure of humility and understanding. President Traoré has flipped that script. His wells are not built by foreign contractors, but by Burkina hands. Skilled local workers operate the drills. Local engineers maintain them. The project creates jobs, empowers communities, and restores dignity. And these wells are more than holes in the ground. They are complete systems, powered by solar energy, shielded with protective fencing, and connected to irrigation lines that are transforming barren land into farmland. They provide water not just for drinking, but for agriculture, brickmaking, school gardens, and local markets. Suddenly, a new life is emerging. Markets stay open longer. Children stay in school. Women no longer walk for hours just to find water. Villages, once fading, are now growing green again. In Kaya, the earth trembled in June, not from conflict, but from massive rig boring through Saharan rock. President Traoré stood watch, boots dusty, eyes fixed on the horizon. In Jibwa, drills descended nearly a kilometer to reach ancient aquifers untouched for thousands of years. No foreign agency ever dared try this. It wasn't profitable. But for Burkina Faso, the cost of doing nothing was far greater. This isn't a commercial venture. It's an existential mission. Even as saboteurs tried to halt operations, like the April 2025 attack near Arbinda, work continued. These drills are guarded like national treasures, and the crews are celebrated as heroes in a new kind of war, a war for survival. But Traoré's vision goes beyond deep wells. He is building an entire national water defense system, a strategic, multi-layered network. Smaller, shallow wells for remote hamlets, rainwater harvesting tanks for schools, micro-irrigation systems for small farms, runoff storage and smart distribution networks, solar-powered purification units for clean drinking water. Every drop is counted, preserved, and honored. This is about more than water. It's about justice, dignity, and independence. It is a direct rejection of dependency and a profound statement of national pride. Traore's project is rooted in the wisdom of local communities and the resilience of the Burkina people. And now, as drills roar through granite and fields bloom where there was once only dust, a quiet revolution is taking place beneath the surface of Burkina Faso. It's a revolution powered not by foreign handouts or empty promises, but by courage, conviction, and a determination to reclaim a future. Water is life, and in Burkina Faso, life is rising from the depths. An ambitious undertaking is unfolding in Burkina Faso, a monumental effort achieved without reliance on foreign contracts or external control. It sends a powerful message to the world. Advanced technology alone is never enough. True success comes from an unshakable combination of courage, determination, and self-reliance. This is a country blessed with an abundance of sunlight, more than 3,200 hours every year. President Ibrahim Traore's engineers have seized on this gift of nature, incorporating it ingeniously into their water strategy. Solar panels now rise beside the ultra-deep wells, powering water pumps that no longer depend on costly, polluting diesel, unreliable electric grids, or vulnerable power lines prone to theft or damage. By May 2025, 164 solar-powered pumps were operational in the Centenord and Sahel regions, the areas hit hardest by water scarcity. These pumps now produce over 12,000 cubic meters of clean water daily. Villagers no longer wait anxiously for water trucks. Farmers irrigate crops year-round. Clinics enjoy constant access to clean water for sanitation and life-saving care. The sun, once an unrelenting force of hardship, has become an ally in Burkina Faso's march toward water independence. The impact on ordinary Burkina lives has been nothing short of transformative. In Yako, school attendance for girls has surged by 22% in just 3 months. Freed from the daily burden of fetching water, young girls are returning to classrooms, their futures no longer sacrificed to survival. In Kongusi, farmers grow enough tomatoes to feed their families and sell surplus in Ouagadougou, igniting local economies. Waterborne diseases, long a scourge, have sharply declined. These changes aren't just about meeting basic needs. They are about communities finally thriving. Villages are building new schools, expanding markets, creating jobs. The water has changed, and so have the people. Empowered by this resource, they are more hopeful, more self-reliant, and more resilient. In June 2025, near the town of Dori, an extraordinary moment unfolded. A drill struck water at 800 meters. Villagers gathered in hushed anticipation before erupting in cheers as a first gush of clean water surged to the surface. It wasn't just an engineering triumph, it was a national awakening. Burkina Faso, so often defined by scarcity, proved to itself and the world that it had the ingenuity and determination to overcome even the harshest odds. To date, over 312 ultra-deep wells, ranging from 350 to an astonishing 1,000 meters, have been completed across the country. Each is a declaration. We will not beg for our survival. We will create it. Neighboring countries like Mali, Niger, and Chad are watching closely. Delegations have arrived to study Burkina Faso's model, eager to replicate its success. What they see isn't just water flowing, it's a shift in mindset, a revolution in how Africa can approach development, led by Africans, for Africans. And as water flows, so too does opportunity. Crop yields of staples like sorghum and millet have tripled in pilot areas. Cotton fields bloom again, and plans are underway for local textile factories to add value and create jobs. New cooperatives are producing soap, juice, and flour, sparking entrepreneurship. Even nature is healing. Fish return to recovering rivers. Birds reappear in long-deserted wetlands. This is no accident. It's a carefully planned restoration, proving the deep link between water security, economic development, and environmental renewal. Yet the journey is not without danger. Armed groups still threaten eastern regions, targeting wells and pumps, symbols of hope and progress. But communities are no longer passive victims. Young villagers, trained and paid by the government, now patrol and defend these vital installations. To them, the wells aren't just infrastructure, they are life itself. This is more than a fight for water. It's a fight for dignity, sovereignty, and the right to shape their own destiny. Burkina Faso's success is already inspiring others across the Sahel and beyond. It's not magic, it's a replicable formula, deep local knowledge, sustainable solar energy, and an unyielding refusal to give up. These ultra-deep wells are more than engineering marvels. They are monuments to national self-reliance. The results are visible everywhere. In Bulsa, where villagers cheer as water gushes from newly installed pumps. In Yako, where children laugh and play around clean water taps, a simple joy that was once unimaginable. This is not charity. It's justice. It's self-determination in action. President Traoré's initiative aligns with global sustainable development goals, but his vision goes further. His redefining development, not as something delivered by outsiders, but as something built from within. The story of Burkina Faso's wells is ultimately a story of belief in the potential lying hidden beneath the earth and within its people. It asks a profound question of us all. If Burkina Faso can rise from drought and conflict to transform its destiny, what's stopping the rest of us from digging deep into the earth and into ourselves to find our own wells of hope and triumph? When water flows, life follows. And in Burkina Faso, life is flowing stronger than ever.